Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Season of Discovery Hunter video. So Blizzard has once again thrown some changes our way, and quite a bit has changed for us. Pretty much everything I've discussed in my last video has changed now and gone right out the window. And with the latest post from Blizzard tonight, we've seen yet another nerf to Wind Serpent pets with the removal of Kill Command and Lightning Breath interaction. So today, we're going to cover what has changed, what nerfs we are receiving, some minor buffs, and revisiting the Hunter pet tier list as Scorpids are no longer the sole S tier pet. Quickly looking over the Hunter Pet tier list again, the S tier slot sees cats, raptors, and now potentially still wind serpents take the crown. Blizzard has just released a statement that only Bite and Claw will benefit from Kill Command and no longer Lightning Breath, so wind serpents are kind of in an interesting spot between A tier and S tier. As for both cats and raptors, they can learn both rank 4 Claw and rank 4 Bite, which is expected to perform very well with today's changes. The only difference between the two pet classes is that raptors have a slightly lower health modifier of 0.95 compared to the cat's 1.0. Whether you decide to tame a cat or raptor, you will want to have both rank 4 claw and rank 4 bite on autocast. From a PvE perspective, if you're not melee weaving, then the attack speed differences do not make any significant damage difference. However, if you do choose to melee weave, then a 2.0 speed pet will be better as flanking strike damage will be higher with a slower attacking pet. Now, from a PvP perspective, you will want to tame either Rayleigh, the Rake, or a Starving Mountain Lion from Hillsbrad Foothills, as they have an attack speed of 1.2, which will help with pushback on caster opponents. The next two changes to the tier list we need to look at are Scorpids moving down to the A tier and Boars moving up to the A tier. With the changes to Scorpid Poison having a ramp up effect instead of immediately having the full attack power scaling with a single stack of Scorpid Poison, your overall DPS will be lower than it was before should you still use to use a Scorpid. What this means is that in relatively short fights, you will do quite a bit less DPS as your Scorpid will not have the full 5 stacks of poison applied for very long, if at all, and also if your fully stacked Scorpid Poison falls off, it's pretty much game over for your DPS. And lastly, looking at the Boar, well, they do have quite a low damage modifier of 0.9. The root effect of charge can definitely help chase down and close the gap on a fleeing opponent, or help you create some distance on close-up targets. Also, with the new attack power scaling, you may see your board do some pretty respectable damage with charge and bite. So up until now, the obvious play for PvE was using a Scorpid pet as they were initially overpowered with the interaction between Kill Command and Scorpid Poison. After the interaction between Scorpid Poison and Kill Command was removed, we still had quite a powerful pet as the scaling between attack power and Scorpid Poison was still better than using any other pet available thus far. Well, today that all changed. With today's update, abilities have had their attack power gains normalized to scale with the focus cost of individual pet abilities. So what this means for us is that abilities such as Lightning Breath and Bite that have a higher focus cost and slower cast time will do more damage. Now looking at Scorpid Poison specifically, we will no longer have an immediate and fully scaled attack power benefit right off the bat at a single stack. The attack power scaling is now spread out evenly as each stack of Scorpid Poison is applied, and after 5 stacks have been applied, you will benefit fully from attack power scaling. So does this make Scorpid completely dead? Well, no, but it does make them a pretty poor choice and not the first option to use anymore. On longer fights where you'll be able to maintain 5 stacks of Scorpid Poison for the duration of the fight, they're still somewhat viable, but definitely not a choice I would pick anymore. Now, another nerf to Hunter pets today is the reduction in Hunter's armor and stamina scaling with pets. Up until this point, you could very well use a Scorpid pet to tank pretty much all of Black Fathom Deeps, and in some cases you would have double the health of an actual main tank. While your pet will no longer be able to overshadow your tanks completely, they can still be used as a temporary backup in emergency situations to save an encounter and secure a kill. The next change to look at is regarding Aspect of the Lion. Aspect of the Lion has been completely redesigned, and instead of having to choose between Aspect of the Hawk or Aspect of the Lion, it will now be an aura. So what this means is that we can have both Aspect of the Hawk and Aspect of the Lion active at the same time. This is a positive note for hunters, as it will help offset the loss and damage due to the pet changes. The last change we have to look at is one that's a step in the right direction, but I wouldn't say is fully there yet in terms of being perfect, and that is flanking strikes, of course. Flanking strikes now gains the benefit of weapon enhances, such as sharpening stones. It's now in the GCD, and is now properly treated as a melee attack, which will now allow it to benefit from attack power, crit, and hit. In addition to this, The pet portion of flanking strikes damage is now properly treated the same way as just mentioned. I do plan to make a melee weaving guide sometime in the near future, so if you've ever been interested in learning to melee weave, then make sure to stay tuned and watch for this future video. That covers everything for today's changes to the Hunter class, especially the Late Night, Wind Serpent, and Kill Command change. Whether you agree and you like the new changes, or you disagree with them, the Hunter class is still in a pretty good position. By no means are we by default the top of the DPS meters anymore like we were early on with Scorpio Poison and Kill Command when it still did crazy damage, but we are far from being the worst. So with all that said, remember to drop a like and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything related to Hunters and Season of Discovery, and stay tuned as we will be covering the best updated talent builds and runes to use going forward with the recent changes. As always, my Discord and Twitch links will be in the video description below, so feel free to drop in. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.